The first ships arrived without sound. They did not fire weapons or send threats. They simply appeared above Earth, silent and large, like metal mountains floating in the dark. People across the planet looked up at the same sky and felt the same quiet fear. Satellites showed the same image everywhere. The ships waited. After one day a message came. It was calm. It was clear. It spoke in many human languages at once. The message said the same thing each time. The Galactic Federation had found Earth. They had watched humans for many years. They said humans were clever, fast, and dangerous to themselves. They offered protection. The protection came with rules. The Federation explained the rules slowly. Humans would be allowed to travel space only on approved paths. Human ships would be inspected. Human weapons would be limited. Large space projects would need approval. In return, the Federation promised safety. No alien race would harm Earth. No war fleets would come close. Trade would be allowed under control. The message ended with a simple line. This offer is generous. Acceptance is expected. Governments met at once. Screens lit up in rooms across the world. Leaders spoke, argued, and listened. Some were afraid. Some were angry. Some saw hope. The Federation ships stayed still above the planet, watching. John Miller sat in a quiet room while others talked loudly. He was not the most powerful man. He was chosen because he listened well and spoke clearly. He had worked with many nations before. He understood how different people thought. When it was his turn to speak, the room became calm. They are not attacking, John said. They are offering safety. But safety has a price. One leader asked, "What choice do we have?" "Look at those ships." John nodded. "I see them. But listen to the words. They expect us to accept later. That means we are still allowed to choose now." The meeting went on for days. Scientists studied the ships. Lawyers studied the laws. Historians studied old human mistakes. The Federation sent more messages, always polite, always patient. They spoke as if time did not matter. On the fourth day, the Federation asked for a reply. John stood in front of the world. Cameras showed his face everywhere. He did not shout. He did not threaten. He spoke slowly, using simple words. "People of Earth have heard your offer," he said. "We understand your wish to protect us. We understand your rules. We thank you for your concern." The alien reply came at once. "Then you accept." John shook his head. "No, we do not accept. Not yet." The silence that followed felt heavy. Some humans feared the ships would move. Some waited for weapons to fire. Nothing happened. John continued. "Humans value safety. But we value choice more. Our history is not clean. We have failed many times. But every step forward came because we chose it ourselves." The Federation voice answered, calm as before. "Choice leads to error. Error leads to loss. We prevent this." John replied, "You prevent it by control. We prevent it by learning." The words were shared across the galaxy. Other species listened. Some were curious. Some were confused. The Federation had not expected refusal. They had expected fear. The aliens replied, "You are weak. Your wars prove this." John did not deny it. "Yes, we are weak in many ways. But we do not grow stronger by being held still. We grow by moving, falling, and standing again." Behind John, advisors watched the alien ships closely. They did not move. The Federation did not threaten. That worried some people more than anger would have. The Federation said, "You misunderstand. We do not enslave. We guide." John answered, "Guidance without choice is control." Another pause followed. The Federation had guided many worlds before. Most accepted. Some resisted and failed. Humans were different. They spoke of failure as a lesson, not a shame. Around the world, people listened. Some disagreed with John. Some feared the future. But many felt something strong and quiet rise inside them. This was not pride. It was recognition. The Federation finally said, "You will accept later." "All species do." John replied, "Maybe. But if we do, it will be because we choose to, not because we are afraid." That was the moment the Federation truly began to watch humans closely. The ships stayed for weeks. No attack came. No punishment followed. Instead, the Federation sent observers. They watched human traffic in space. They watched humans argue on screens. They watched mistakes shared openly. Engineers from different nations spoke freely. Pilots trained together. Lawyers compared notes. John returned to a simple office. He did not feel like a hero. He felt tired. He knew the choice they made carried risk. But he also knew something else. The Federation had expected obedience. They had found resistance without violence. From their ships, the aliens recorded the event. Humans refuse protection, the report said. They prefer uncertainty over control. One alien asked, "Is that wise?" Another answered, "It is dangerous." Far below, Earth continued to turn. Humans went back to work, study, and debate. Life did not stop. Fear did not rule them. They had not won anything yet. But they had claimed something important. They had claimed the right to choose their own path, even under the eyes of a galaxy that believed it knew better. The pressure did not come with weapons. It came with words. After the human refusal, the Galactic Federation changed its tone. Messages were still polite, but now they were firm. New laws were announced for all shared space near Earth. The Federation said these laws already existed, but now they would be enforced fully. Human ships felt it first. Cargo vessels received warnings for small errors. A ship that flew a little too fast was fined. Another that used an old navigation path was ordered to turn back. No shots were fired. No threats were spoken. Everything was written, recorded, and signed. The Federation called it order. On Earth, people noticed the change. Trade slowed. Some ships waited days for permission to move. Pilots complained, but no one panicked. Meetings began again, quieter than before but more focused. Emily Stone sat in a room filled with screens and documents. She was a legal advisor, not a soldier. She had spent her life reading laws that most people ignored. When the Federation laws arrived, thousands of pages long, many thought they were impossible to understand. Emily did not think so. "These laws are not chaos," she said to her team. "They are a system." Someone asked, "A system to control us?" Emily nodded. "Yes. But every system has rules. And rules can be learned." She worked day and night. She read every word carefully. She did not rush. She marked patterns, repeated phrases, and strange gaps. She noticed that the laws were strict but exact. Nothing was random. Soon Emily found something important. The laws limited actions, but they also defined rights. If a ship followed every rule, the Federation could not stop it without breaking its own law. Emily shared this with others. She did not keep it secret. She spoke to pilots, engineers, and planners. Meetings were open. Notes were shared freely. Mistakes were discussed without blame. Human ships began to change how they moved. Pilots trained together, learning the exact limits of speed and distance. Engineers adjusted engines to stay within allowed values while still moving fast. Captains planned routes that followed the law perfectly, even if the path looked strange. The Federation noticed. Warnings continued. "This action is close to violation," one message said. Human captains replied politely. "Please show the exact line we crossed." The Federation checked. The line was not crossed. More laws followed. Limits on fleet size. Limits on communication range. Limits on docking time. Each time humans studied the rules and adjusted. Emily noticed something else. The laws were written assuming obedience, not creativity. They expected species to follow simple paths. Humans did not move that way. A small human cargo ship flew a legal route that passed through 3 control zones in one trip. It was slow but allowed. Soon many ships copied the method. Trade increased again legally. The Federation sent another warning. "These routes are inefficient." Emily smiled when she read it. "Inefficient for them," she said. "Not for us." Some people on Earth grew angry. "They are squeezing us," they said. "We should protest." Emily disagreed. Anger is what they expect. Learning is what they fear. Human networks filled with shared guides. Simple documents explained complex laws in easy words. Pilots who failed shared their errors openly. No one was punished for honest mistakes. The Federation watched humans argue, adjust, and improve. This was not rebellion. It was compliance taken seriously. One day, a human research ship was stopped near a shared border. The Federation claimed the mission violated a safety rule. Emily reviewed the case. She found that the rule applied only to weapons testing, not research. The Federation had assumed the ship carried weapons. Emily sent a calm reply, quoting their own law word for word. The ship was released. This event spread quickly. Humans learned that the Federation did not lie, but it did assume. Humans questioned those assumptions. More observers arrived from the Federation. They did not speak much. They watched humans teach each other. They watched arguments end in agreement. They watched people from old rival nations work side by side. Emily spoke during a global meeting. "We are not fighting the Federation," she said. "We are understanding it." A pilot asked, "What if they change the laws again?" "They will," Emily replied. And we will read those too. Pressure increased slowly. Some human projects were delayed. Some plans failed. But no one hid failure. Each delay became a lesson. The Federation sent another message. Your methods are unusual. Compliance should reduce activity, not maintain it. Emily answered carefully. Compliance does not mean stopping. It means acting within rules. The Federation did not reply for a long time. Inside their ships, alien advisors debated. Their system was built to reduce risk by limiting choice. Humans reduced risk by sharing knowledge. One alien observer wrote, "Humans treat law as a tool, not a cage." Another replied, "That is dangerous." On Earth, Emily finally rested. She knew the pressure would continue. But she also knew something had changed. Humans were no longer reacting. They were adapting on purpose. Human ships moved quietly through space, perfectly legal, perfectly human. The Federation had tried to slow them with rules. Instead, the rules had become a shared language. And the humans were becoming fluent. Daniel Wright was not famous. He did not command a warship or lead a fleet. He flew a medium cargo vessel with an old name and a patched hull. His ship carried food, tools, and sometimes people. He knew every sound it made. He trusted it because he understood it. When the Federation laws tightened, many captains complained. Daniel did not. He downloaded every update and read them line by line. He printed them. He marked them. He treated the laws like maps, not walls. "These rules are not telling us where we cannot go," he said to his crew. "They are telling us exactly where we can." His crew came from different places. One was an engineer from Europe. One was a navigator from Africa. One was a medic from South America. They did not argue much. They shared screens, notes, and ideas. Borders meant little inside the ship. Daniel planned routes that looked strange on charts. Long curves instead of straight lines. Slow zones mixed with short bursts of legal speed. He followed every limit. He crossed no forbidden line. Federation monitors watched his ship closely. "This vessel changes course too often," one observer noted. Another replied, "Course changes are allowed." The ship passed inspection again and again. Other human captains noticed. They asked Daniel how he did it. He did not keep secrets. He shared his route plans openly. Soon, many ships copied his methods, adjusting them for their own needs. Small crews began to cooperate without orders. A ship would delay slightly so another could pass a control point first. Navigation data was shared freely. Mistakes were posted with explanations. Daniel once made an error himself. He misread a timing window and had to wait 12 hours at a checkpoint. Instead of hiding it, he recorded it and sent the lesson to others. "Do not assume the window resets at local time," he wrote. "It resets at Federation standard." The Federation noticed something else. Human ships were rarely alone now. They did not fly in fleets, which were limited. They flew in patterns. One ship would scout a legal path. Another would follow later. It was quiet cooperation. Still legal. A Federation officer asked, "Is this coordination allowed?" The answer came after review. Yes. Pressure increased again. New limits were added on docking time. Human ships adjusted. They practiced faster loading. Crews trained together in virtual docks. No rule was broken. Daniel's ship docked at a shared station one day. Federation observers watched closely. His crew moved with calm speed. They spoke little. Every step followed regulation. The ship left early. "Efficiency is increasing," one observer said. "That is not the goal of the law," another replied. Daniel received a direct message from a Federation controller. "Captain Wright, your compliance record is unusual." Daniel answered politely. "Thank you. We try our best." "Your methods reduce the intended effect of regulation," the controller said. Daniel paused before replying. "We are not trying to reduce anything. We are trying to understand it." The Federation ended the exchange. Across human space, cooperation deepened. Crews from different nations trained together online. Old rivalries faded in the face of shared limits. Law became a common language. Emily Stone continued to send updates, but now captains like Daniel added practical lessons. Theory met experience. The system grew stronger. The Federation watched a human rescue operation one day. A civilian ship had engine trouble near a shared zone. Two other human ships adjusted their legal routes to pass close enough to help. No emergency exemption was used. No rule was bent. The stranded ship was saved. "This was not predicted," a Federation analyst said. Another replied, "They did not violate law." The analysts were quiet after that. Daniel met other captains at a station cafe. They spoke softly, sharing notes. No leader told them to do this. It felt natural. "We are not fighting," Daniel said. "We are moving." One captain laughed. "They wanted us still." Weeks passed. Then months. The Federation sent fewer warnings. Their observers sent longer reports. Human activity did not slow. It changed shape. An alien council reviewed the data. "They obey," one said. "But they are not contained." Another answered, "They obey too well." Daniel's ship flew past the Federation beacon one quiet cycle. The monitor flagged the route as odd, then cleared it. Everything was correct. Inside the ship, the crew shared a simple meal. No speeches. No pride. Just work done well. Daniel looked at the stars ahead. He did not feel victorious. He felt focused. Humans had not broken the law. They had learned how to live inside it. And the Federation was beginning to understand that law, once learned, could be shaped without being broken. The unease did not show in the Federation messages. Their words stayed calm and formal. But inside their ships, reports grew longer and more careful. Charts showed patterns that should not exist. Human activity was not shrinking. It was changing shape, bending around limits like water around stone. The laws had been written long ago. They were designed to stop growth before it became dangerous. They worked well on most species. Control reduced movement. Limits reduced learning. Order reduced risk. Humans did not follow that path. Anna Brooks stood inside a training hall built from old human metal and borrowed alien parts. Screens covered the walls. Simple diagrams floated in the air. New pilots and junior officers sat in loose groups, not rows. Some were nervous. Some were excited. None were silent. Anna did not wear a uniform. She did not shout. She spoke clearly and slowly. "You will make mistakes," she said. "That is not a failure. Hiding mistakes is." She showed a recording of a human ship missing a timing window. The pilot's voice shook with stress. The ship had to wait. The mission was delayed. "This pilot shared the error," Anna said. "Because of that, 10 others avoided the same problem." One student raised a hand. "What if the Federation sees this as weakness?" Anna smiled slightly. "They already see it. They just do not understand it." Training under Anna was different. Pilots learned law and navigation together. Officers learned command and listening at the same time. No one trained alone. Every exercise ended with open discussion. "What went wrong?" Anna would ask. "What went right?" she would ask next. Reports were shared across human networks. Names were not hidden. No one was punished for honest error. Improvement came fast. The Federation noticed. Their observers watched human training sessions. They expected rigid drills. They saw arguments instead. They saw junior pilots question seniors. They saw seniors admit mistakes. "This breaks hierarchy," one observer noted. "Yes," another replied. "But efficiency increases." Human ships began to move with quiet confidence. Crews rotated between vessels, spreading experience. A mistake on one ship became a lesson for many. Anna sent regular summaries to legal advisors and captains. She translated experience into simple language. "Do not assume," one note said. "Check the rule again. Then check your understanding." The Federation sent a new notice. It was small, almost polite. "Human reporting frequency is unusually high." Anna read it and laughed softly. "They think silence is order," she said to her team. Inside Federation Command, discussions grew tense. "Our laws are being used as tools," one council member said. "That is allowed," another replied. "They were not meant for this," the first answered. "They were meant to be followed," the second said. "And they are." The problem was not disobedience. The problem was learning. Anna watched a live feed of a joint exercise. 2 human ships practiced docking within strict time limits. The first attempt failed. The crews stopped. They talked. They tried again. The second attempt worked. Federation observers marked the data. Adaptation speed increasing. One alien asked, "Can we slow this?" Another answered, "Only by changing law." Changing law was dangerous. The Federation believed law must be stable to control chaos. Humans treated stability as a base, not a ceiling. Anna spoke at a global session. "We are not special," she said. "We are just honest about failure." A pilot asked, "What if the Federation closes training access?" Anna nodded. "Then we train harder with what we have." Pressure continued in quiet ways. Some approvals took longer. Some observers asked sharper questions. Humans answered calmly with documents and data. The Federation began to see something unsettling. Human improvement did not come from one leader or one plan. It came from many small choices made openly. An alien analyst wrote, "Their system adapts faster than regulation." Another wrote, "Regulation now adapts to them." That report was marked sensitive. Anna received a message from a Federation observer. "Your methods influence law interpretation." Anna replied carefully. "We only follow what is written." The observer paused before answering. "What is written changes when used." That truth spread through Federation command. Some alien officials felt fear. Not of human weapons but of human example. If law could be lived inside and still changed, then control was not absolute. Anna watched her students fly their first independent routes. They were calm. They checked each other's work. They reported small errors without shame. She felt tired but proud. Humans were not fighting the system. They were living inside it, together, honestly. The Federation looked at its own rules and saw them bend, not break. For the first time they questioned a belief held for centuries. Maybe law was not just a tool to stop growth. Maybe, in the hands of humans, it was becoming something else. The meeting did not happen near Earth. It happened far from human space, in a neutral zone where the Galactic Federation had gathered for centuries. The hall was wide and quiet, filled with soft light and floating screens. This was where laws were made and rarely changed. This time they were being rewritten. Mark Lewis and Lucy Hart sat together on a simple platform near the edge of the hall. They were not leaders. They did not command fleets or sign orders. They were observers, invited but not placed above anyone. That alone was new. Mark had spent years studying interstellar systems. Lucy had worked in human diplomacy, listening more than speaking. They wore no symbols of rank. They were there to watch, to answer when asked, and to learn. Across the hall, Federation Council members gathered. Some looked calm. Some looked uncertain. Data screens showed long records of human activity. Charts moved slowly, showing patterns that had not existed before Earth was found. One council member spoke. "Humanity has followed our laws." Another replied, "Yes. And yet, the outcome differs from expectation." That was the problem. The Federation had always believed law created stillness. But humans had created motion inside it. Trade had adapted. Training had improved. Cooperation had spread. No rebellion had occurred. No rule had been broken. Mark listened carefully. He did not interrupt. Lucy watched the expressions change as each report was read. One report said, "Human error reporting increases system safety." Another said, "Human cooperation reduces enforcement cost." A third said, "Law interpretation is shifting." That last line caused quiet tension. A senior council member turned toward the human observers. "Do you seek to rule?" Lucy answered gently. "No." "Do you seek to change us?" another asked. Mark replied, "No. We only live as we are." Silence followed. That answer did not fit old categories. The Federation discussed its history. Worlds that had accepted protection. Worlds that had resisted and failed. Earth did not match either record. "Humans choose uncertainty," one council member said. "They choose responsibility," another corrected. The council began reviewing core laws. Limits on movement. Limits on learning. Limits on cooperation. These laws had worked before. But now they created strange results when humans followed them closely. A proposal appeared on the central screen. It was small. It suggested allowing adaptive clauses. Spaces where learning could occur without punishment. "This weakens control," one voice said. "It strengthens stability," another replied. Mark noticed something important. The Federation was now arguing the way humans argued. Not with force but with examples and shared data. Lucy leaned closer to Mark and whispered, "They are learning from us." Mark nodded. Without meaning to. After long discussion, the council reached a rare decision. Galactic law would be updated. Not rewritten completely but opened. Adaptive learning would be allowed under clear reporting rules. It was the first time in Federation history that law changed because of behavior, not fear. The council recorded the moment carefully. "Earth classified as turning point world," the record said. "Human behavior demonstrates lawful adaptation." Mark and Lucy were asked to speak once more. Lucy stood. "Humans did not plan this," she said. "We simply chose to work together." Mark added, "We do not believe choice is dangerous. We believe it is necessary." The Federation did not argue. As the meeting ended, messages were sent across the galaxy. Worlds under Federation protection received updates. Some would fear change. Some would welcome it. All would feel it. Back on Earth, people did not celebrate loudly. There were no parades. Pilots flew their routes. Teachers trained students. Advisors read new laws carefully. Life continued. But something had shifted. The Federation ships near Earth slowly moved farther away. Not in retreat but in respect. Observers remained, but their reports changed tone. One final record was sealed in Federation archives. Humans do not resist law, it said. They transform it by living within it. Mark and Lucy returned home quietly. They did not feel like heroes. They felt like witnesses. From space, Earth looked the same. Small. Fragile. But the galaxy no longer saw it as weak. Humans moved forward not because they were forced and not because they were promised safety. They moved forward because they chose to. And that choice changed more than just one world.